No, no, but I mean, you can throw a cross. But if you're Ricky Steamboat, a cross body off the top
Yeah.
means something.
With that said, guys, it's your time. We're about 14 minutes in, and it's time to ask questions. What's on your mind? And I'm going to start with Michael Jensen. He's our first super chat of the evening, and I'm going to show it here on screen. He says, Arn, what's your favorite style of wrestler to wrestle? Is it a technical wrestler, a hoss fight, a high flyer, etc.? And is there a style that you hated going against?
I wasn't real high on the bunkhouse type matches, tables type matches, all that stuff that diverts your pretty much your thought process about, okay, how do I feel about this? When you got guys that's beating the crap each other with every piece of movable furniture in the building, it's okay. It's hard to keep up with. It's hard to really make you feel anything other than, man, these guys are beating the crap out of each other. I would have rather been with a Ricky Steamboat, Brad Armstrong, uh, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, anybody that the people absolutely loved, made my job really easy because it made me easy to be unloved and disliked. So that would be a technical wrestler. I would think would be my favorite.
So Hoss fight is out. I love how he put a Hoss fight. That's out. High flyers. I mean, you might what we watched your high flying, head scissors. Did you ever do the head scissors to someone?
Nope, had it done to me 1,000 times.
Yeah, yeah. But outside of that, you weren't really just waiting to take on that high flyer.
No, no, but I mean, you can throw a cross. But if you're Ricky Steamboat, a cross body off the top
Yeah.
means something because he beat guys with it.
Do you remember ever taking, and I don't know, this is considered high flying, but it's really was always a cool move when the Steiners came out with it and he did the Frankensteiner. Did you ever take?
Frankensteiner, yes,
Yeah.
many
Okay.
times.
Yeah.
I
That's
did.
always a timing move too, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
the margin for getting tucked on the way through there is not great. So there was risk factor there.
Sure, for sure. Because as we have grown up and aren't kids and now watch it a little differently, you can and know how wrestling works. It's a dance, and if you're not in symmetry with your partner on certain moves, you're screwed.
Well, and there's a lot of people that never give this any thought. Guys put oil on their body. Nobody considers that's a point that things could get screwed up. You start getting sweaty, you can slip. All it takes is slipping 3 or 4 or 6 inches. You're going head first in the mat, and there's no way to protect yourself. There's other variables, that go into a match, and guys that, if a guy that's just not seasoned enough to be confident in what he's doing, or he shouldn't be doing it because he's physically not able to be doing it. A lot of variables in there.
That's what I feel is so impressive about pro wrestling and it's live. There's no do-overs. To your point, sweaty, oily, timing, all these things that you get to watch and we just take for granted as fans, like, oh, okay. Oh, that was cool. No, that was their one shot to get that move right. And when you start to think about the Frankensteiner or moves that are high flying or backward flips or some of the stuff that we see nowadays, that's it. If it was not done right or executed properly, major injury, a catastrophe and you've seen some of that. You've seen some of these major injuries occur, but that's why it's unlike anything else that you watch. People can miss basketball shots. People can mess up in sports and get flags or penalties. In pro wrestling, it is perfection is expected, and if something goes wrong, it can be the worst thing you would imagine for an athlete.
The margin for error is so small.
Mm.
Uh, the one that if you think about it, I want to challenge everybody in our audience tonight. Just think about it. How many times have you seen somebody go in the ring, hit a moonsault out to the floor, and actually hit it? 9 times out of 10, it's a whiff. The person that should be catching them, if you think about, it's not a crossbody off the top, it's a moonsault. So you've got an entire person coming down with their feet pointed straight at your head, and that's the landing that they're going to give you. Now, whether you're there to deflect some of it or catch some of it or not, that's one of those that very seldom ever happens and looks proper. So, risk versus reward. It's up to you. It's up to you, kids.
I got to ask you about that because there was a specific occurrence that happened recently in WWE. Tiffany Stratton did a move flying outside of the ring. It whiffed. Your thought, should the wrestler that she's wrestling or whoever's wrestling in that, I'm just using that as an example, just no sell and
landed on her feet, right?
Yeah, landed on her feet. Should it just be a no sell? Would you coach? How would you coach that? If there was a whiff on a move like that, how would you coach that or tell those wrestlers they should act after something like that occurs?
Well, first of all, we'd have been out there in the afternoon trying it on a bump pad on the floor. Landing pad. After a couple of times, you can tell if that thing's going to look right, but you got to just think of the mechanics. They're jumping off the top and they're coming parallel to you. They're not coming like a crossbody where you can catch a person through their crotch and over their shoulder and ride them down. They're coming this way with those 2 feet. There's no way to catch them safely and properly. And I don't know if anybody's ever pointed that out to anybody and said, most times that does not look good. The risk for error, you land, blow your knee out, 6 months gone.
Yeah, but if you're the wrestler who's supposed to be on the receiving end, would you coach them to say, hey, if they totally whiff on you, don't act like you got hit.
Well, if they miss you, just roll out of the way like exactly what happened. They missed.
There you go. Don't sell that you got hit.
Yeah, just create some distance between you and them, because that now is probable, believable, probably will, like I said, it happened 9 out of 10 times. So there's no harm, no foul there. Just you got to keep your eyes on every inch. Once they jump, you got to ride them all the way down. And it's do what you can to catch them and protect them. And if you can't, protect yourself.
That's why I feel like, too, you see a lot of those moves, like a Charlotte Flair, where she'll do the swan dive or whatever. It's in a group. They have a group, so it's more likely that there's some type of carnage or landing on a group of people. So it's less of if it's just one person down there and there's a little bit of offness or looks awkward, it's going to be exposed.
Well, and I bet you she's tried it with one-on-one and screwed it up many times too that we just don't know about right now.
Sure.
So I mean, it's not like anybody can pull that off flawlessly. That's just so much better than everybody else. It's just luck.
And again, you get one shot to do it on live TV, and that's what's incredible about pro wrestling. Yep. You're judged on it. You are immediately judged on social media for that presentation. It's almost like the Olympics and a gymnast. How was the landing? Almost immediate, and you don't get a do-over. So when I'm trying to talk to someone who isn't educated about pro wrestling and it's fake, and hey, listen, you try to do something like that, the athleticism that's involved in some of what these folks are doing and the risk of what they're doing, and 95% of the time they're landing it. It's super impressive.